coming together today to discuss the basic principles of the foundational issues that everybody seems to have consistently passed upon. The clarity of this is presented to us through, like as you guys walked in here, I was just on the phone with somebody and there was a place of contention and division. And as we go forth, if we are in His divine nature and divine power, there is no contention. There's unity of spirit. When we're in the flesh, we create contention and we create division. So the essence and the power of His Spirit creates unity. So in the first part that we're trying to understand is the difference between Satan and salvation in contrast. When you look through Scripture, the first example of the interaction of Satan is in Genesis 3, where the serpent changes the meaning of something just a little bit so that it's not exactly the truth, but it's not exactly a lie. It's how it's received. When you speak and when you say something, it's not really what you mean, it's how somebody takes it. So him being who he is, the word arum, is being smooth. And it's the same word that is used to describe the nakedness of Adam and Eve. So there's other words for nakedness. It's just unique that the same word for, in a King James Version, I think it's just cunning, is used for nakedness. So because of this, there has to be some kind of covering for us to protect people from us and us from people. So as we learn all the tools of Satan, we find out that he puts us in bondage through fear. In Hebrews chapter 2, I think it's 14, he's through all people's lives they're in fear of bondage. So as you go through, you find out that Israel, every time they become into a place of fear, they want to go back to Egypt. So again, the changing or meanings of something just a little bit causes a little confusion, causes a little lack of understanding, just enough to where you're put in bondage and not nurtured. Which the three aspects of salvation are nurtured. They use in the lexicons they use the word succored, suckled, succored, being free, and being saved. The other thing that Satan, serpent, the great dragon uses is the lust of the flesh. When you are bound to some kind of lust of your flesh, whether it could be intellect, it could be a Sudoku puzzle. I know that there's been times where I totally got into those, wasted all my time. Okay, the lust of the flesh causes a lack of freedom. When you have fear, you have lack of salvation or saved. So when you're not feeling safe, you're not saved. So fear causes anxiety, which prevents you from being safe or saved. And then when you're not believing in what is true, but believing in a half-truth, you're not being nurtured because you're not basing your position and your understanding on what is true. It's just a half-truth, so you're kind of lost and going off in circles because what you putting your trust in is not accurate. So the three tools of the serpent is to change the meaning of something, to put somebody in fear of something, therefore binding them, and to influence the lust of the flesh. And that's part of the whole concept of all things work for the good, because the only thing that's really truly being saved is spirit. Everybody's flesh is going to die, and flesh is contrary to spirit. So understanding salvation of being free, being saved, safe, and being nurtured, in contrast to the three things of the toolbox of Satan, enables you and empowers you to recognize when I'm not being free, and I'm not being saved, and I'm not being nurtured. Because he's changed the meaning of something, he's put me in fear of something, and he's influenced my flesh in some way, or caused me or encouraged me to do something that I wanted to do anyways. Flesh always causes selfishness and self-centeredness because it's all about me and all about pleasing my flesh. So the basic principle in learning to come into a complete understanding of love, which is the motive force of the two greatest commands, starts with salvation. So